Hello and welcome back to another video on Rule the Game. In today's video, I'll show you how to play Imperial Miners by Tim Armstrong, published by Portal Games, a game for 1 to 5 players that lasts about 30 to 60 minutes and is recommended starting at age 10. If you're new to the channel, please stay tuned until the end where I give you some hints on how to play your first game. In Imperial Miners, we are miners who are building a deep mine where we're trying to find gold and diamonds. This might be a mine what it looks like at the end of the game. At the end of the game, whoever has the most diamonds will win. The number of diamonds that you have at the end of the game will be partially from what you earned during the game, during the different moves into the game, but also at the very end, you'll add a diamond for every single gold card that you have in your mine. It needs to be a full gold card, and it can be one that is just shown on 2 different cards, like here or here or here, but it can also be one of these gold cards that you might be able to place during the game. So in this case, we will get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 gold cards, and that will give us another 10 diamonds. Now, as you can see, there are diamonds of different colors. The pink one is worth 10 points, so I'll add another pink one for my gold cards. The green one is worth 5 points, and the blue one is worth 1 point. If 2 players have the same number of diamonds, then whoever has the most money left at the end of the game wins the game, and if there's still a tie, then it's the person who has the most gold cards within the mine. To set up the game, we take the decks of cards, we sort them by level cards, and here the events. We then shuffle all the different decks. From the event cards, we just take 10 cards. We'll put the others back into the box. Of these level cards, we also shuffle level 1 separately, or level 2, level 3. Put them back here. Level 4 you don't have to shuffle because they're all the same cards. Each player then takes a surface board. The side doesn't matter, they're both the same. Then you also take here a progress token that corresponds to the color that you have up on top here. We then also pull 3 of these progress trackers. You can decide which ones you want, which side, which back or front you want. You place them here. And then you put in everybody's reach the money, these cogwheels, and the collapse tokens, the cards, and also here the diamonds. I have them here in little containers. You might not have that, but you just put them somewhere where everybody can reach them. To start the game, everybody also gets some cards. What you do is you draw 2 level 1, 3 level 2, and 3 level 3 cards. You can have a look at them, and then you can keep 4 of them, and you have to discard the rest. If this is your first game, the author actually suggests that you take 2 level 1, 2 level 2, and 2 level 3 cards, and you keep them all. And that's it. We're ready to go. Let me first introduce you to the cards. As you saw when we set up the game, there are level 1, 2, 3, and 4 cards. The level is also written down on the card here on the bottom. The level also shows you where this card can be played later. A level 2 card like this one needs to be played on level 2 of your mine. This is level 1, 2, 3, and 4. The card also has here a cost. Level 1 cards have 0 cost. Level 2 cards always cost you 2 coins. Level 3 cards go from 0 to 13 coins. And level 4 cards are for free. Each card also has here on the side half gold cards or half empty cards. You will see when you attach them on their level that some of those cards will be full, some will be empty. In this case, all of them are half full. Most cards also have here at least 1 faction. Some cards have 2 factions. Those are the symbols here. Some cards have no faction at all. And lastly, each card has some effect that is written down here. It can have just one effect, or it can have two with an or in between, where you can choose which of these effects you want to play. During the game, there will be opportunities for you to draw cards. If you're asked to draw a card, then you can only draw cards from level 1 through level 3. To get a level 4 card, any effect that leads you to this will have to specify that you draw a level 4 card. Imperial Miners is a round-based game. The game lasts 10 rounds. In each round, all the players play simultaneously, and it always starts with an effect that will be played first, that affects all of the players at the same time. Then each player plays a card into their mine, and then they activate their mine. To start with, we have here a pile of event cards. In each round, we turn one of those cards around, and then we immediately play the effect. When we set up the game, we set out only 10 of these event cards, so once there is no more event card left to be played, the game's over and we've played our 10 rounds. So first what we do is we turn around the event, and then we check what kind of event it is. There are immediate effects that need to be played out right away. There are effects that help you during the round, and there are effects that are for the end of the round. Each event card mentions on the bottom if it's an immediate, end of the round, or feature card. It is mandatory for each player to play this event, no matter if they want to or not. If they cannot play the full event, they at least have to play as much as they can. In this case, the card actually says draw a level 1 card and add it to your mine without activating it. So in this case, you would draw a level 1 card, you'll add it to the mine, and I'll tell you later how you add cards to the mine. Once we're finished with the immediate action of an event, if there is one, we then go into building on our mine. For this, the players have cards in their hands, and they can now decide which of their cards they want to play. As I mentioned before, all these cards on the bottom show the level 4, 2, and 3, and the card can only be placed on the level that they show. Now you can place here a level 4 card on the 4th level. Again, this is level 1, 2, 3, and 4. I can place it down here. And as you can see, each card has to be placed below another card. Like here, there's a level 3 card above it, but also shifted to one or the other side. You don't place a card straight on another card, but it's always shifted, with the exception of here up top, where it doesn't matter so much where you put it. But each card needs to be placed underneath another card, so you can't place here this level 2 card on the side because there's no card above it. Please note that for level 1 cards, they don't necessarily have to be underneath the base cards that you have from the beginning. They can also extend here to the side. So it's the only exception here where you don't have to have a card or anything above it. For anything below level 1, there needs to be a card above it. If you have here full or empty cards, that doesn't matter at all. As I said in the beginning of the video, each full card at the end of the game will be an additional diamond. But if you have here only a half card full or even empty cards, that doesn't matter for placing the card. Of course, you can only place a card if you can pay the cost for it. In this case, level 4 card, like the level 1 card, is for free, so it doesn't matter. If I don't have the money to play the level 2 or level 3 cards, I can't play them. If a player doesn't have any cards anymore that they can play because they don't have the money to pay for them, they can pick up a level 1 card and place it on level 1 because the level 1 cards are for free anyway. After playing our card, we will now activate the mine. That means we're going to be moving up from that level where we just played our card up to the surface. So we first play the action here on this card that we've just placed. We take 2 diamonds from the storage and put them to our diamonds. And then we move up to the card that's above. We'll do this action. We keep on moving, and now you see, now we have 2 options. There are 2 cards above it, and I can choose as a player if I want to go and act on this one or if I want to have this action that I do. And then again, I keep moving up to the next one until I end up here on the starting board, in which case you can decide which of the 3 actions that are here on top you actually want to do. When you activate your cards, when you activate your mine, all the actions on the cards are optional. You don't have to do any of them. If you do them, you have to do them complete, unless you can't, in which case you only do it as far as you can. Please note that you always have to finish an action first before you can move on to the next card to do the action of that card. Whenever an action asks for you to pay some money to gain something from it, you take some of your coins, you put them back in the stash, and you get whatever you wanted. One important note here is that any card can only be activated once. Why is that important? Because there will be some cards, or you might have some cards in your mine, that will let you activate any additional card in your mine. But please pay attention that you don't activate a card that you've already activated or will activate later when you keep walking through your mine. There are also some special abilities in here that I want to explain to you now. There are machines that are using these cogwheels. For example, we have a card here that says you gain a coin and place a part of a cogwheel on this card. When you do this, you place one of the cogwheels here, and later on, you can actually gain something for the cogwheel that is on this card or that's in your mine. There might be other cards that need this. You can put at most 3 cogwheels on a card. Once you've done that, as you can see, the wheel is finished and you've maxed out. There are also cards that give you the option to place here a collapse token on the mine. If you place that collapse token on that card, next time you pass through that card, you will not be able to use the action that is on the card, but when you pass it, you will forfeit any action. You will just take the collapse tile and you put it back into the stash. From now on, this card can be fully used again. Then there will be some actions that will tell you that you can now place some of these gold cards on your mine. This will help you to have more full gold cards, which means you get more points, right? However, you can only place these full gold cards on half full gold cards. So here, for example, I could place it on top of it. Here, on the completely empty card, I can't place any of these gold cards. So it might actually be of interest for you to have some half full gold cards in your mine because you can fill them later. Empty ones are not really helpful. And again, each gold card is a diamond at the end of the game. As I said earlier, some of the cards also let you draw some cards. If it says draw a card, then you can only draw level 1, 2, or 3 cards. Level 4s you can't do unless you have somewhere an instruction that says draw a level 4 card. And as you see now, we are ending up on this progress token. Now the question is, how do I move on a progress token? As the game starts, this progress token will be at the bottom of these progress tracks. There will be some cards, like this one here, that says advance up to 2 spaces. What I can do now is I take my progress token, I place it on any of these progress tracks, and I can move up to 2 spaces now on this track. I then gain whatever it says I can gain here. So if I do end up here on the draw 1 level 4 card, then I draw a level 4 card. Also here, you see some levels that will let you activate cards in your mine again, but again, you can only activate a card that you haven't activated before. There's also a special ability up here. This is called a faction draw. It also happens on some of the event cards that you can do this. Whenever you come up with something like this, with this icon, this faction draw, you can decide which faction you want to pull from which level of decks. Now, let's say I want to have a level 3 card, and I really want to have another Egyptian faction, because for some reason I like those. Those are ones where you can usually advance here on the track. I then take the level 3 deck, I turn around these cards until I get the first cards that has an Egyptian faction. As you can see here, I then take that card in my hand, I take the rest of the cards, shuffle them, and put them back. Please note that when a card says you advance on the progress track, in this case, you can only gain the bonus from the field where you end. Unless, and there are some cards that have this, unless the card tells you that you can take the bonus from every field that you step over, you can only take the bonus from the last field. Once you have enough advances to get here to the top of the progress track, any additional advances that you would have, they will be lost. But then you can do here the action that it says up on top, and you'll then place your progress tracker on any of the progress tracks on the bottom. Once all players have played a card in their mine, they have activated their whole mine, they're all done here on the surface level. We then finish the round by doing here the event, if it's an event that has an end of the round effect, and then we move on to the next round. Unless there is no event card left, in which case we're done with the game, and then we count our points. Remember, once all of the rounds are done, before you count your diamonds, count all the gold cards that you have completed in your mine, and you'll get an additional diamond for each of those gold cards. Also, it's very important to the author of the game that this is a non-aggressive game, meaning if you're not quite sure if an effect has any effect on any other player, it won't. None of these cards are supposed to affect any other players. You're playing by yourself. And here's some hints for the first game. I think it helps to know what a mine will probably look like at the end of the game. So what you see here with 2 to 3 cards per level is quite usual. There can be some changes here or there, but usually players want to go down to level 3 cards, to level 4 cards, because with the level 3 cards you get great actions. With the level 4 cards, you get the chance to activate these level 3 cards again. So that's usually why you have 2 or 3 level 4 cards down there. And if you want to have 2 or 3 level 4 cards down there, then you will also need 2 or 3 cards above them so that you can even place those level 4 cards. Another thing you'll notice quickly is that you will have to draw cards during your game at least twice. The way to get cards is on the surface level to do this action here that says draw 3 cards, again from level 1, 2, or 3, and that gets you up then to those 10 cards that you need. In some cases, it might be a value to draw cards a third time. But most of the time, when you get to the surface level, you'll either play the action where you gain coins or where you advance on the board. Now, most of the time, the winner of the game will have advanced quite a bit during the game. So the progress boards that you have here, they're very crucial in winning points and winning the game, because you get good bonuses on these tracks. So it's worth advancing and getting whatever you can. There's some cards that will let you get the bonus on each level that you advance through. And those are amazing cards. If you find one of those, you should play it definitely. And you should also try to activate it more than once, because that gets you a lot of bonus that you would otherwise not get. Besides that, it's definitely good, of course, to have cards in your mine that also give you diamonds right away, or that give you gold cards. If you build a mine that has a lot of half empty or half full gold cards, then you can place these wooden gold cards on top of them and make sure that you even get more diamonds. I have to admit that I haven't really seen anybody make much out of either the cogwheels or the collapse tokens. Somehow we haven't really been able to use these factions properly. So I don't think I would go for those. I would rather really go for either diamonds in the mine, gold cards, or advances. And that's Imperial Miners. It's a fun puzzle game that you can play alone or up to 5 people. And it's a fun puzzle game that always looks a little different because you always get different cards and always the strategy changes a little bit. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please subscribe below. I'm looking forward to seeing you here on the channel again.